From cold cases to serial killers, missing persons, and more.
100% he did this.
I'd go off into fantasy world.
How much more lucky can you get that you're not on death row?
You want to know what we know.
My name is Jay. This is Guilty of Crime.
What is up, everybody? The second time around. What are we talking about today? We're talking about CSAM and STEPHAN STERNS and a whole bunch of other stuff. Hopefully we see Oblivious if she's not studying today. We're going to shout out Oblivious Benson for doing a ton of work for us today. Now, she dumped a bunch of documents on me, but she put a video together that couldn't say it better. I also would have to take a class for like 2 months. So she doesn't care. She says, girl, use what I put together. So hello. So we're going to go through some of her stuff. We're going to go through we're going to do the CSAM question again that we were talking earlier. What's up, everybody? Thank you for coming back. Susan, we're all here for justice and we all want to find out what's true. Glad to see you back. I'm glad you found this channel too. I want everybody to find this channel. There's 92 people. Whoa. We just jumped up to 114 people. So if y'all can hit that like button, that'd be really cool. Hey, girl, you inspired me. I got my hair done. It's 104. Thank you. And JPL, I think you were one of the winners of the book. If I don't know if Bree can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you were one of the winners, and I haven't heard back from you on your address yet. So I got a pile of my books in ready to sign, and I need your address, girl. Your hair looks great if that's the picture that I can see. What's up from Canada? I got a lot of Canadians in here. I got Bree, that's a Canadian. Carly, that's a Canadian. Who's the other mod? Davey, I don't know where the hell Davey is. I think he's on the other side of the world. Karen, all right, so I'm saying hi to y'all. You know what we can do? We didn't finish the, I was bad. I didn't finish the, JPL, Cynthia Sweezy, JPL was the last winner. I have one more book with your name on it, and you didn't claim it. You better claim it, or I'm going to have to give it away to somebody else. I don't want to do that. I'd rather send it to you and sign it. So, JPL, get us your address, please. Guilty of crime. We emailed you. All right, y'all. You know what we didn't do? We did not finish the body cam, and I have a couple more pieces I want to show you. Lauren, I'm glad I'm your new favorite true crime. My favorite new true crime is you. Thank you. I have no idea why, but I appreciate it. Why don't we get into it then? And because that body cam footage is just so damn good. It's just such high def, and I really wanted to watch it, but I didn't finish it. So we're going to finish it, and then we're going to talk about CSAM. We're going to have, it's basically like a class, a learning class with Oblivious Benson, because she's so damn smart and she's studying to be a private investigator. That being said, her content is on point. So let me get my video file. Let's finish this body cam. There's not a lot of it, but it's good. It's good body cam. And I think we got too wrapped up in all talking and telling each other how much we love each other yesterday at the end of the show that we didn't even finish the footage, and nobody noticed except Bree, because Bree notices all that. All right, let me where the heck is it? Probably in a STEPHAN STERNS folder, deep down, buried away. There it is. All right, y'all.
Alrighty, thank you guys. I got that on my video, so I'll get that to the detectives. Again, thank you. I'm just gonna.
All right, I can pause it right here. So today we're gonna finish that real quick, and then we'll get into the CSAM stuff. Please do hit that like button as we go. I'll put that down there since we're not on the CSAM stuff yet. Davey, thank you for being here. Where are you from? Cynthia, I'll take that book. I was raised in the culture of appreciation. My mom sadly passed. I'm sorry, Cynthia. shoot me an email. I have a few books left. A couple people sent me an email. What's up, Monica? All right, let's do this together. Let's finish this last 2 body cams. They're really important and really good quality that you don't want to miss. See how you spell A, Canadians, bout, bout. You guys say bout. You guys have an accent, but I'm sure I do. All right, let's go. This is the officer meeting with the staff from the church. So to me, this is important. Everything's important in this case, actually. This is my case. All
We'll
right.
put the school, the church, as a place that she was last seen. Detectives might be out here to come talk to you guys. You might see a private number or like
What's up,
Orange County
Nikita?
number. So that's probably one of them trying to contact you guys through the business line. All right. All right. Thank you guys again.
Thank you so much.
All right.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. See you again. I hope I see you guys, but on better circumstances. Hey. So
Okay, so they're
it's possible that she came here and sat in the parking lot for a while. It's blurry video, but it looks like a adolescent child sitting right there, and she's sitting. The people here said that they were adamant they seen her on the property, but like I said, it's a blurry video, and I don't see her getting into anybody's car in the video. I see her sitting on property for give or take 10 minutes, and then walking off property. I don't know which way she went from there. Around, like, I'll say,
Is there any way I can see something from it?
it's really blurry. It's like there's no possible way. You can ask them to see if they could allow you to see the video. I can't really grant that.
now that may be one of the cousins. I do not think that's a roommate because she's way too young, but the whole family's there, folks. And I'll just play it down there, hit the like button so you don't forget. There's 200 people in chat, and so yeah, it'd be cool if you do that for me. Yes, I live in California, folks. I'm in the Bay Area of California, which is suitable for me. San Jose, California. All right. That's what I'm telling you right now. That girl is part of the family. I'm not sure. I don't think she's a roommate or anything. She looks like part of the family. I'm going to assume she's a cousin. We tried to figure that out as much as we could yesterday, and we could not figure that out. It's not Stephanie at all. It's got to be one of the cousins. She kind of looks like the mom. I know she's in the Soto family from what I'm speculating she is from what we figured out. So let's listen.
For you, and just have them see if they have him. But yeah, I had her sitting there, and then she walked right off property. I'm trying to see, I'm gonna send that to my detectives, see what they can do with that, and get more video.
Cameras like that show the bridge or anything?
No. Yeah. So yeah, I told your cousins earlier that.
There you go. If she's a cousin, there you go. We were speculating on that earlier when we were trying to figure out in the lobby situation. She's pretty. She's a cousin. She looks kind of like grandma. So she's definitely a cousin. They said I was telling the cousins earlier. There was all cousins there and roommates. Yes, there's a bunch of roommates, folks. And she looks way more concerned than Jennifer Soto. And we already know Stephan STERNS knows where Maddie was. So he was concerned that he was going to get caught. Jen, I don't know what she was concerned about. And this one's concerned about her beautiful little angel cousin that she probably just spent the day with at her birthday party the day before because they all were at grandma's house. And you'll see when court comes up.
Over there, the other property, I have cameras. So, Urbana. So, we're gonna try to contact them and see if we can get those videos as well. But other than that, yeah, I've been asking your cousin see if they knew any spots. Do you know any spots that she probably hang out at? That she doesn't want to tell her mom or dad?
Well, the address that I gave you, she never goes here in Urbana
Yeah.
because we do have like family friends that live there. She never goes there, and if she did, they would have said something right away. The lady who lives and works at the office already said.
That's as loud as it goes, folks. And what she's saying is that the address they gave her is somewhere she would never go. So I don't know if you heard that, but I think she's calling bullshit on Stephen Stearns and Stephan and Jen, folks. She literally just said that's an address she never goes. Thank you, Hope 8 Fear. I love you. You're so awesome for always gifting memberships. Thank you so much. I'm sure you're part of the family too. We love the family, and we're all in the family in the crime crew, but there's other family members, and we know who we are.
She would have said something right away, but no, I don't think she would have gone there. I don't know if she knows anyone around here.
I don't
know
know.
that one friend that we told you about, she comes to my house all the time. And then yesterday we met a new one. I know her name is Emily. We also gave her
Yeah.
information. That's the only two people I've ever met that she's friends with.
Definitely.
Yep, she did.
Yeah.
I have no idea. We
She-
checked her phone. I didn't see any like
Crazy stuff.
crazy
Yeah,
messages with
me neither.
anyone.
Yeah.
I didn't see her trying to like plan anything with anyone.
Wow.
I just really don't think she's the type to do that.
Just walk up and leave.
Yeah, I
222, y'all.
at all.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Like around this time, it's usually like they have like school events or something like that. So that's what I was probably saying. She probably told you guys something, and
I don't know.
No.
School, she
Nope.
never showed up for school today.
yeah,
At all. So I don't know where she could have gone from like here to there.
yeah.
I don't know.
See?
Okay. Alrighty.
Highly
Well, I'm gonna just
suspicious.
try to see if I could see if there's any more cameras in the area. See if I can.
You know, I'm just telling you, Fisher Blue, I know it's hard to hear her, but what she's telling the cop is she's more suspicious. There's nothing I can do to boost that audio, folks. We have 4K or 1080p. It's really good so you can see it. But I'm just telling what she's saying, and she's saying she doesn't go there often. They don't know why they gave that address. She doesn't have it. She has one friend's house that she knows of. She's not there. They checked her phone, and when they checked her phone, nothing suspicious was on. So of course they already had deleted it. We hit 222 a while ago. So I made a wish for Maddie and complete justice, which means that Jennifer Soto gets served with the minimum of endangering a child and the minimum of obstructing justice, folks. Now we're at 236. So just hit that like button, and she's soft spoken. I'll translate for you. I speak soft spoken.
Pick up anything else.
Do you guys gonna contact her mom right away? Or?
Yeah. Once we get any news or anything like that, the detective more than likely contact her, or I would contact her and say, hey, that's if we find her tonight, I will contact her more than likely. If not, a detective will contact her first thing. Okay. Any questions for me? Anything you need to know?
No.
No. All right. No problem. All right.
Have a good one.
You too.
All right, that was the first one, folks. I hope you can hear me. I don't know what I did to my headphones. Hold on. All right, so I can't hear anything more because it's done. But I did tell you what she said. There's my big face again, and let's go to the next one. All right, last one that I didn't show yesterday, but I still want you to see it.
Yeah, he left, and she walked onto property.
All right, I'll make it full size for you. And yeah, like I said, I'm doing the best that I can here with what I have. Thank you for saying that the audio and video is better than some you've seen. Nikita, Jen Soto, you're next. You're next, you're next, you're next. And I hope so. All right. And if my voice sounds weird, let me know. I just pressed something on my headset and it sounds a little funny. I don't know why. That was her cousin, folks. Yeah, that was her cousin. We did all this video yesterday. I just missed a couple. So this is the wrong one, Bree. That's the one you told me. All right, let me pull this down. That's the one you told me. All right, let's remove the other two. I did the two you told me. You got to start naming them. You got to name them just 1, 2, 3, because I'm not that smart. All right, so what's the one I'm going to play? Redacted 1.1. All right, there it is. All right. I'm sad for her whole family. Thank you, Joyce. You did miss my live. I did a live yesterday with all the videos.
Was it here?
All right, let me explain this one real quick. And Jackie Riley, I pronounce my name Jay, Jay. So it's spelled Jai, but it's J. Now, this one, they're following STEPHAN STERNS. You can see his ugly mug in there with his belly, and who knows what else he's got going on down there. We know there's something pink in his pants that's not good, that we want castrated. So we talked about castration before. They put trackers on the cars, they bugged the phones. They were starting to get suspicious, folks, which is fantastic. You're welcome, Jackie. Tracy, you're my favorite to watch. Well, thank you. Yeah, there's ugly beard. So let's watch this one. I'm sorry if you missed this yesterday, Adam. Go back and do the rewatch crew, and I will also release the videos so you can just watch the ones you want. All right, here we go. I can't help it. He is disgusting. Woo woo. Oregon. I love the beard too. I love beards. Yeah. All right.
Was it here?
Around where these communities were. Oh, thank you. So it's like around where these communities were.
Okay.
And it's just like in this stretch, like we could see the overpass down there.
All right. So this is his fake place he's showing and his Mickey Mouse voice. Now, we talked about that earlier on my last live, and that Mickey Mouse voice he has where he's real meek. Now, I talk low, so I'm not yelling in your ear, but I definitely can get loud if I want. But this guy talks like he's from Disneyland, and he tries to, and I wonder if that's his real voice or if he's just trying to sound like that, or if he talks like that because he wants to talk to children and sound younger. You know, when those guys do that, they get people on the phone, they talk to them, and they act like they're 14 or 15. So it makes me wonder, why do you want mother to get? I don't want her to get the minimum, Nikki. I don't. I want her to get all the charges. But I have my last stream people telling me that you're gonna see Jen didn't do anything, blah blah blah. So without me speculating, I want her to get the death penalty if I could. If you get the death penalty for being the worst mom of the year and handing your daughter over to the devil on a silver platter, I would say fry her or firing squad. I'll do it myself. But the reason I said that is because those are the least amount of charges right now, is obstructing justice and child neglect. So, Nikki, I think you missed something, because I #want Jen Soto arrested for everything. All right. Misunderstood. I think some people only listen to part of my stuff or don't hear me other times. Thank you, Patty. I think she's fully culpable for a lot. #arrest Jen. Yeah, I think people just miss some of my stuff. And if you know Jay from Guilty of Crime, you know I have a vendetta for Jen Soto to be arrested. Allegedly. It's alleged vendetta.
Where's the school? Just on the other side of the overpass. 2105. So somewhere on here. So yeah, somewhere, maybe not this one, but the next one possibly. It's right in this stretch. When we just came down and we drove about halfway down, and she was like, "That's good right here."
Okay.
On the second floor.
We just want to lock her up right now, folks. We just want to lock her up. We do not want Jen out on the street. JPL, you're right. #arrest Jen Soto. That's why I said the least amount of crimes that we can see. She served her daughter up on a silver platter, and she also served up the lies and neglect. So obstructing justice and endangering a child, she should be arrested for already. But the cops are doing their job. They got something up their sleeve. They better. Absolutely. Absolutely. Where the heck is she?
2105.
Things that make you go, No worries. No worries.
They advise that they no longer see the subject.
What's up, Misty Free Spirit? I love talking to y'all when nothing's going on. Yep. Yep. I had to pause it on this one, folks. Trina Britt, I don't know if you were in chat earlier. If they don't lock up Jennifer Soto, she will have to hide the rest of her life, just like Casey Anthony. Her life is not going to be a good one either way, folks.
They said unknown or apartment number, but it was next door to theirs. I'm going to find out what their apartment number is. 10-4, second floor.
Yeah. Yes, CBC. You're right.
Also had a brown purse.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. When she said she sends her. Absolutely. Yeah, I get profits. You can buy it from me too. I wrote that book, published it, illustrated it, all that. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
10-4, they took a 10-8 north of the complex, 2108.
All right, we got a little more.
It's going to be a black female wearing a white dress and hat with a brown purse.
What? They must be talking about someone else.
Say it again? No.
2109.
No.
No 911 calls by Jen Soto. No funeral, no vigil, nothing. Mother of the Year award. That was God. That was God. That was a higher power. I had to stop this and say that flat tire and that man that called in the flat tire, that was a higher power. If you believe in God, Buddha, Allah, Jehovah, whatever, spirits, angels, that was them. Oh, perfect. They're missing 2 girls at night. Okay. Thanks, Stormcat. She did not go to the funeral, the memorial, or the vigil. Thank you for those that are explaining CSAM. It's child S, you can guess, assault, and then material. Child essay material is what it means.
Normal.
Yep, and wouldn't you be ashamed too?
Go ahead.
Thank you, Simona NG. I'll tell CM. She helped.
26 standby.
And remember, this is a complete, utter waste of time what they're doing because he's just leading them on a wild goose chase. He knows by now she's in those bushes. Very sad, but I am glad that they found her and that we're not doing summer wells where we're still looking for her 3 years later, folks. At least she's resting in peace and she's looking above. She's looking out for Trinity Perez. She brought us the Trinity Perez case. So thank you, Madeline Soto. We love you, and we just all love you. You're an angel now.
Supervisor on the channel, 26 close holding. County 0405.
Right?
10-4, thank you.
Even though, what?
No, no cameras as of right now.
I can't believe that in this day and age there's no cameras pointing on anywhere.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if we can find something.
Did you hear what he said right now? He said, I can't believe at this day and age they don't have cameras around here. He was nervous, and I think he checked out the cameras and was looking for the areas, but he's really dumb. He's dumb and he's lazy. So when they did check the Venetian cameras and they saw that, they knew right away. But he literally just said that if you didn't hear him. He said, I can't believe they don't have cameras this day and age. Watch. Listen.
10-4, thank you.
No, no cameras as of right now.
I can't believe that in this day and age there's no cameras pointing on anywhere.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if we can find something.
Especially around the school.
Yeah.
Especially around the school. That's because he never took her there.
381
She does. Sorry about that. I'm going to pause that real quick, folks. I've been on here all day and I actually flaked out on CM today. She is going to come on the show. She still can't show her identity because she has a wife and 4 children. 2 of her children have autism. That's why we talked about the autistic thing and Maddie not being autistic at all. Like, that's a complete lie. And if they got her diagnosed as that, it was just so that they can do parental alienation with Tyler and Tatiana Wallace. Tyler Wallace is the father of Madeline Soto. He loved her. They loved her. They were in her life, but parental alienation is real. And I'm only saying allegedly that happened. I can't say anything else other than that. Everything I say is alleged and everything I say is for entertainment purposes, but everything I say is from the source itself. So when I tell you what I tell you, I just can only say what I can say, but my sources are really good. Trust me, I don't use a source that's not. CM doesn't need to show herself. She's going to come back on. She was at the hospital yesterday with like bronchitis or something, and her voice is messed up. She'll be back. I talked to her like 3 times, 5 times yesterday. Today I was supposed to call her back, but I'm on here with you.
Earlier today by an unknown suspect attempted to sit with a white female, white green shirt, blue jeans, negative signal 0, code 221.
All right, that was all you missed, and I'm glad nobody really was tripping off of it yesterday. Thanks for nobody giving me shit, except for the left hand Bree. Right hand, left hand. This is my hand. This is Bree's hand. She's got to help out. I need her. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the CSAM stuff. I'm gonna show you the thread again real quick because I just want you to see what I what I was taking a look at. I saw you guys should all go to Reddit, and a lot of times there's nonsense on Reddit, but there's also good information. So I'm just going to pull this up. We're going to read a little bit, and then we're going to get into Oblivious, Benson, and all the homework she did. And she shared it with me. I have all her documentation. Oblivious, if you're listening, hello. You're beautiful, and we love your eyebrows, okay? Don't ever let anyone tell you different, all right? And Bree, if you want to shoot her a message, you can tell her we're on and we're talking about her. I would text her, but I'm running a show right now. All right. So we're on Reddit, and I sign up for the Madeline Soto thread, and there's a lot of information on here quite often, okay? So this one's called The Day Before Madeline Soto Disappeared. Her family celebrated her 13th birthday. Madeline Soto turned 13 on February 22nd, yet they celebrated on the 26th. So there's one indication that Mother of the Year, Jen, could have been there. Yes, Oblivious Benson. That's my girl. She'll talk my ear off, and I love it. And we have 333 in chat. So say a prayer, make a wish. Let's wish for complete and utter justice for Madeline Soto, because we won't stop until that happens. The audacity of him taking them and showing them where he dropped off Maddie. Why he should have took them to the bushes, because that's really what happened. You'd think Jen would want justice. Yeah, Jay, you have done amazing research and fast. I'm glad I found your channel. Justice for the Dixon will keep coming back, because all of my content is going to be like this content. I do the same thing for everything. If I'm not filling the case and I don't know it, I'm not going to do it. So there's that. All right, let's read this. I love you guys, and I want to talk to you all day long. Okay. So we're going to talk about this real quick. Proof that Stephan STERNS was trading CSAM. We think he was trading CSAM too. There's not really proof. This is alleged. And I'm also going to get into the dark web. We can have a discussion and talk about the dark web, how it's not so easy to get onto, and there's different forms of the dark web. There's no one place that you just type up dark web and you get there. You got to go on a VPN or somebody's VPN, and then there's these back things that you got to do. And if you want to get into CSAM material, which is child essay material, you have to trade them material. So for instance, Stephan would have to trade pictures of Maddie to get content. And a lot of reason why he showed pictures of himself, folks, and they had a picture of his the pink winky, is because if he can't prove to the people that it's him assaulting and he's just pulling them off the web, they won't share with him. So we're thinking he was trading the CSAM, and that's why he had pictures of himself in compromising positions, because he had to prove it. You can't get in if you can't prove it. I learned that from Oblivious. I want to call her by her name, but she doesn't want anyone to know it, so we'll call her OB for now. All right? We're not going to see any of that stuff. We don't want to see that stuff. I'm not showing you any of that. I don't go on the dark web, but I have friends that do. I have hackers that do. And the hackers go on there because they're looking for true crime material. The ones that I know, you can get the true crime, like crime scene photos and things like that, and not pay thousands of dollars. All right. Let's read this. All right. So here's what our thoughts are. Somebody says here, I think I just discovered something truly alarming. I analyzed the list of charges in Stephen Stearns' arrest warrant and created a timeline. God bless you for who did that. The dates of Maddie's recorded abuse as listed in charges count 1 through 20 begin on 6/19/19. Now, I read these 60 counts too, and I had nightmares after, so I'm not going to look at those again. I also want to point out to you on 6/19/19 is when CM, right when she moved out, this started and these pictures started. So I want you to know CM is an absolute saint. She said sometimes she felt something was wrong, that things were wrong. Like she just felt weird that Jen and Maddie would all sleep in the room together and they'd be in there for hours at a time, all the time, all three of them, when there was 4 bedrooms. So she would always keep her room open. Now, on 3/19/19, thank you for becoming a member again. I appreciate you all. I know there's a bunch of other people I'll shout out to. All right. So, CM, you're heaven sent as well. And I'm going to call you when I'm done here. I promise. If you're listening to me, shoot me a text. All right. So CM moves out and 6/19 begins, and that's when Maddie's recorded abuse starts. Now, Stephen Stearns was also charged with possessing CSAM, which I just told you what that up was. They're images of children in compromising positions that are not good. Those pictures and videos of children who are not Maddie, those charges are counts 21 through 60. Okay. The earliest dates that the CSAM, not of Maddie, possession charge was 6/19/19 on the same day, which means Stephen Stearns received and downloaded CSAM of other children on the same day he had abused and taken videos and photos of Maddie, which leads us to one conclusion, that he was trading these photos to get other photos, because that's how you get them. You cannot get a photo unless you trade them a photo that's valid. They want to make sure, and the way he tries to talk down to people irritates me, and he's disgusting. And what we're talking about is disgusting. But what we're going to talk about next is going to help you to keep your children off of some of these sites and really pay attention. And I hate him too. And I have disdain for Jennifer Soto, because she did hand him over to take these pictures and do these things that had to have hurt folks. I'm a grown ass woman, and the things that I read, I would not want done. Okay. So, yeah, Trina, we all are with you on that. And I don't use hate often either, but when it comes to that, if you think about it, and Millie, I'm going to shout you out. If you think about it, if she helped Stephen Stearns to groom her by allowing her to be with him and not placing a barrier between her daughter and his monster. Millie, I think about it late at night. I think about it in the morning. I think about it all day long. Yes, I do. Totally use that, sweet girl. To be ignorant is to be foolish. Yeah, I don't know about ignorance, but all right. So what I said here is important, and all the sites we're going to talk about is going to be important for those of you that have children, okay? So Reddit has a lot of things and a lot of good information. There's some bad information, and there's a lot of websites used to trade and possess material of other children, but you got to give something to get something, okay? So this says it means that he had done this. In fact, I found a lot of dates lined up. So he was receiving CSAMs the same day he recorded Maddie. Anyone else notices? They asked that. And then the next phase, they say also analyzing the dates. And this is good information. So I want you to hear this from me about the dates and everything. And if you have already heard it, well, guess what? You're hearing it from me again, because somebody said they wanted me to read a phone book. But this is much more interesting than a phone book. So, also in analyzing the dates, and I said this earlier, this is a big deal, folks. Maddie also disappeared on a Monday. She was her life taken that morning, probably either late in the night or that morning. there's a good possibility that he assaulted her at that 11:49 time on Telegram and then shared the pictures, okay? But the reason I think it was probably later on that night or closer to the morning, because the abuse always happened on a Monday and Friday. Now, out of the 20 charges, all were dated Monday or Friday with 4 exceptions. Wednesday, 6/19/19, Tuesday, 7/2/19, and Tuesday, 8/2/22. Wednesday, 6/14/23, and Thursday, 6/29/23. It should not be hard for the law enforcement to figure out why Monday and Friday pattern. Is everybody still with me? All right. But the indictments show otherwise. Interesting. Yeah, I have a ton of paperwork and we can look up the paperwork together. I'm reading from Reddit right now. I have boatloads of documents now. If the research was in a phone book, we would listen to you reading it. Thank you, more. I appreciate it. Yeah, Reddit investigators, but they do have the paperwork, and it's interesting to hear this. And I'm showing you that it's Reddit coming from the post. Okay, I do have the document, but this theory is going to turn it more into a theory because I'm going to show you some OB stuff right now. OB said, "Oh my God, sweet hell! I'll log in. I'm driving at the moment. I told her to drive safe." Okay, so hopefully OB comes in chat. If she wants to come on the show, she can come on the show when she gets to where she's going. All right. So yeah, this is I'm just gonna read a couple more things and then this is just all, same questions. You think he drugged her? Yeah, he definitely did. Someone says it. I'm sure he did because it hurt. They alluded to him drugging her possibly on court TV, stating she has eyes half closed. I don't want to talk about those photos, guys. Her being out of it. And I hope he did to help dull her pain and awareness, folks. I can honestly say that because I know those things were traumatizing and they hurt. They had to have hurt. Okay. All right. So, people get into all these other things. Vinny reading on his YouTube channel about Maddie watching cartoons, STEPHAN STERNS bribing her to do essay things for 3 seconds in exchange for cell phone use. All right. So it goes on and on. The description made me sick. Someone says filthy 3 second vile act. STEPHAN STERNS needs to be held accountable. Justice for Maddie. There's so many things on here I wanted to show you. Yeah, comments make me difficult to breathe too. Childhood trauma, so much on here. Now, someone breaks it down again here, and it's all the court documents and the counts. And I'm not going to read any of this. I'm done because I can't. Last time I read that stuff, it hurt my soul a little bit. So, what is up, everybody? Are you ready to learn with Jay Scott and Oblivious Benson? Now we're going to take a class on the interwebs, and we don't think he used the dark web at all because he was too lazy, and he actually just used we believe he just used Telegram, and he Googled stuff. He used his drive. He used everything that he thought no one was going to check. In Dante's Inferno, the deepest, darkest, most miserable layer of hell is reserved for those the prayers of the sacred trust. I agree, and I hope in this life that's what happens to him. Say hell yeah, Scott. All right. Give me PTSD reading that. Yeah, me too. It gave me nightmares and I couldn't do it anymore. Nor should I. I don't want to re-victimize the victim or the family. Jen was still trying to cover up by saying she saw Maddie. Either way, she's guilty. Thank you, the bishop. I love people that rely on common sense and logic. It's common sense and logic, folks. And if you're here to support Jen, okay, come on and say you're supporting Jen. Let's agree to disagree. I'm okay with that. All right. JLRC, I said I'm not the smartest tool. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed either. My brain shuts off after a certain time, but I do run a mechanical engineering company, folks, and that's not easy. So by the time I get here, I'm really tired. All right. So I'm going to text OB real quick and just tell her if she wants to hop on, she can. And then I will. What's up? I'm on a live stream right now, about to play your beautiful face. If you want to come up, I'll send you a link. Let me know in chat. Your friend Chai. Ha, she calls me Chai. OB is a comedian, stand-up comedian for 15 years. She still does stand-up comic, but she also does this stuff. So yeah, I'm smarter than I'm just teasing. I'm not stupid or ugly. When I say jokes like that, I'm just messing around. I just joke. I just like to play around. I'm kind of like OB. I can have a stand-up show, and then I can also do true crime as well. I think Jen is here. Who is there? Right mind would defend her. So, well, earlier someone was defending her, and I think there was somebody on Jen's side. Dang, chemical engineer. It's a mechanical engineer, but I work with chemical engineers and electrical engineers and all that. So I know the engineering language here in Silicon Valley, Google, Facebook, Apple, Snapchat, all the companies. All right, folks. All right. Let's throw this up. We're going to start with some OB and get into this. We're on a chill show. It's chill, but the content is a little harsh. This is what we're doing right now. She started off a little bit like this. I'll go back for a minute because we're not going to just play her commentary. We love her, but I'm going to skip through a bit of it. Let's shout out to her, Oblivious Benson.
But I think that you got, because I noticed that right after they both aired episodes, his in which he was talking about this one, and I think y'all were talking about digital forensics and stuff, and then after hers, where she was talking about the Amityville stuff, that's when I started getting bursts of the emails, and then right at the beginning of the case, and then there was like 2 conspiracies we're going to talk about. When they came out, I got at least 3 questions on one and 2 on another. For me, that's a lot, because yeah, it's
so OB talks really fast, so we're going to play at normal speed, and she talks about a lot of different things at a lot of times. Her brain's working overtime. So yeah,
it's like, okay, these people are having a time, so I want to answer your questions. So that's going to be more in the second video. And I'm also going to go over in probably this one. I think we're going to go over some recent cases that happened that are related to social media and app culture in general, since we are going to be referencing some of the apps later in Shipbird's list of.
Now, Shipbird, I believe she talked about STEPHAN STERNS. So like I said, we're going to hop around. We're going to learn social media accounts, digital footprints, and data validation basics with our master teacher, OB. And I know she'd be on here if she wasn't driving and doing whatever. So
in Shipbird's list of all his apps that we confirm, and his digital footprint, and just kind of added information about him. So I did find some work history information that I know everybody's been asking, like, how does this guy make money? What does he do for a living? And I'm telling you, there's ample amount of evidence to support a potential answer to that. And I'm going to give my opinion on that too, and I'm going to show you why. So we're going to get into that later.
Thank you.
By the way, I did have to record this in many parts over several days, so expect a lot of costume, hair, and eyebrow changes because my eyebrows are still growing back after a tragic plucking accident. And I just want to point that out so I don't look like some nutbag who changes shirts all day. I do respect water rationing and the rules of laundry. And I do not condone multiple senseless changes of clothing unless you are Cher or Kiss.
Isn't she funny and great? We're going to hear the content soon. I just wanted you to hear how funny and her personality before we get into all the mind-blowing information she has.
Okay, everyone. So since recording this video for you, which took many different days, right when I was about to put it out for you, it was announced that there was going to be a press conference with an update in the Madeline Soto case. So I thought, well, I can wait another day. And I wanted to see if there was anything that pretty much I could add on to help guide us or perhaps needed to amend.
So we are going to do that. I want you to hear this again just because it's the same one. She said a press conference again later on. They did a press conference that said the exact damn same thing, which didn't rule out Jennifer Soto. So let's refresh ourselves on this with Master OB.
Graphic images and videos depicting crimes being committed. It was during this examination that we learned we needed to act swiftly to remove the suspect, STEPHAN STERNS, from our streets. Despite the arrest, our investigation into her disappearance remained ongoing. We understand the importance of thoroughly exploring every lead and piece of evidence. The Kissimmee Police Department, along with other law enforcement agencies in Central Florida, continue their search for Madeline for the next several days following her disappearance, and we turn to the public for help. During this time, our investigators combed through a significant number of tips, and on March 1st, we received information placing Stern's vehicle in a rural area of St. Cloud, where ultimately Madeline's body was discovered. We are all deeply saddened by the outcome of Madeline's disappearance. The Kissimmee Police Department continues to piece together the timeline leading up to the events that occurred. I want to address some questions we are receiving from the media in everyone's effort to keep.
Again, this is the same thing, but we like to hear it because when you go back, it gives you more insight and information. Now, Oblivious, OB, she films hers really high, and I kind of have a lower tone voice. So if I'm talking too low at any point, please let me know. I had to lower the volume from her video, but I'm also lowering it for mine. So I want to make sure you guys can hear me good. Okay, thanks.
Keep the community up to date on this tragedy. At this time, Sterns is facing a total of 60 charges related to our investigation. This includes sexual battery, lewd and lascivious molestation, and unlawful possession of materials depicting sexual performance by a child. These charges reflect the meticulous work of our law enforcement community. Our detectives also are working closely with the State's Attorney's Office for the 9th Judicial Circuit and the Medical Examiner's Office on the investigation. Death investigations are complex. Tasks like forensic analysis and thorough interviews are crucial and require careful attention. It is vital to address these misconceptions in the pursuit of justice while preserving the integrity to the case. During an investigation such as this one, we gather additional information from individuals close to the deceased. Each person interviewed is treated as involved until proven otherwise. This is a standard protocol to ensure all the facts are uncovered. During our investigation, we have interviewed many individuals. Each interview has been vital to our understanding of the case. We are reviewing all of the information we received and are following up on every lead. Attention to detail and the diligence.
No, this is not a new one, but we're playing this to refresh your memory of what happened. And it's the same press conference, and she redid the press conference again and said the same thing. And she's letting us know that nobody's been ruled out, and Jennifer Soto is not ruled out, and she's made statements to the police, but they have not ruled her out. I just want you to refresh y'all, and I'll look up the next court date. I think it's changed to August now, but there's not going to be a trial that soon, so we'll figure it out.
Are the most important aspects of this investigation. We are committed to transparency and will provide updates when possible.
Yes.
Madeline's story has touched the hearts of many. Rest assured, our department is diligently working on the investigation. And while we appreciate the public's interest, we must prioritize the integrity of the investigation. We appreciate.
This says the same thing I want to say, and that's why I say have patience, be with me. Let's find all the new things that are coming up, but be patient. They're looking through everything.
Get your support and understanding as we gather the facts. We intend to release additional information in the future, providing more details that we do not compromise the ongoing investigation. We vow to do everything in our power to ensure Madeline's memory is honored with justice. Our detectives are dedicated to pursuing every lead, uncovering every fact, and holding those responsible accountable.
Okay, on to the data. So our first step today will be short and sweet. We're going to gather the OSINT, or open source intelligence, if you will, which is a fancy way of saying gather your chisme into one big pile so that we can separate it later Marie Kondo style. But instead of like keeping what brings you joy, we're going to keep what is a fact or a reasonable conclusion. And we're going to toss out the nonsense that can't be validated or is simply false.
And do you see why I love this woman? And not like that. And she's from Texas, by the way. But the reason I love her, because we toss out the BS and we only put what's relevant. We just cut right to the chase. We're not fluffing, and we're not trying to cause conspiracy theories. We're only telling you facts. All right, get ready, folks. There's a lot of facts going to blow you. You're just take notes.
We are also going to disprove and debunk a couple of rumored accounts that everybody thinks are his that are not his.
Thank you.
Now, this is where we get to the good stuff. Today, I want to show you Stephan's accounts. I want to show you the stuff that he has that is definitely him. And I want to show you some of the stuff that is not him and how we know it's not him. because some of that stuff is what's going around. Like I see a lot of people saying, oops, Stephan has chatterbait. People who consider themselves legitimate news sources, actual legitimate news sources. They're not for entertainment purposes. They're not commentary. They are the news, are reporting accounts that are not his. They're referencing chatterbait. Chatterbait is what it sounds like. I don't think I need to explain it to you with the ending being.
And that's what pisses me off is these legitimate sources. I'm the low level YouTuber, right? That's what I've been called, the low level small YouTuber. I'm sitting there yelling from the rooftop. That's not true. We got to get this right. Let's get it. And OB's over here like that too. And that's wonderful. And she has Duty Ron. She calls him Papa Duty or Papa Ron. And luckily she has that platform to speak on too, because she gives a lot of information. The lady in the middle is Oblivious Benson. She's my new buddy. And hopefully she'll be in chat soon. So she knows she's going for her private eye. She's studying to be a private eye detective. And so she's working hard right now. She gave me all this information, said, use what you want, girl. So I am. And there's the Sustanet bio web free. She's telling you the account Stephan STERNS has, what to stay away from, digital footprints, and data validation basics. And we're tying in Stephan STERNS to it.
Or bait. Yes, it sounds exactly like something Stephan would have. Sure. Totally. Yes. It sounds like something a perp would have. Yes.
Really?
However, not his account. Not his account. In fact, that account belongs to a poor Polish man who happens to use the same usernames as Stephan, who lives in Poland and who likes skydiving. And he's getting his stuff spread all over the internet by people who don't care to at all click on it and go, hey, is this him? Do you think Stephan speaks Polish? This is not a guy that speaks Polish. This is not him in any of the videos or anything.
Thank you.
Really, all it took was clicking the account and looking at it, and it's written in Polish. This guy is not Stephan. He's another guy.
Smart.
He doesn't have the same name. His birth given name is not the same. He just happened to use a variation of the same online handle username that Stephan used. And this guy used his many years ago. And he only has a couple of accounts under it. I want to confirm his accounts because I think that social media behavior, it's important. You know, it's just like behavioral analysis of a suspect or, you know, someone who, like a serial killer, for example. They do behavioral analysis to funnel down to say this is the direction you're looking for based on these facts, right? Absolutely. So we know that this perv did a bunch of pervy stuff, and we know by those 60 counts in that indictment what he did. But people are now diving into his online activity, his behavioral profile of his online footprints, his digital footprints, and they're saying.
And we want to dig into the real stuff that he had, and we want to tell you what he didn't have. We want to show you what he had and was saying Maddie had, but he probably controlled for reasons that we know. How do you become a member? You want to become a member? No problem. Bree, can you please drop the membership link? It seems like I only have one mod, but I have Davey in here. I don't know why he doesn't. I think he's using the phone. I know I rely on you a lot, Bree, but would you drop a membership link for this lovely lady? You can buy one as well. Okay, there's the membership link. Let's keep going. Bree, if you need another mod, let me know.
Oh, Stephan had this, Stephan had that, he had that. Just based on one username, a lot of it's wrong. Some of it's right. Yeah. Yes, and the reason that it's important to know what's wrong or right is, again, we don't want to dox people, you know. Simultaneously, if you want to get an accurate profile, you have to know what accounts are his. If you want to see where people are potentially, you know, getting information, if he were to be distributing this anywhere, does he have the apps for that?
All right, folks, this is very important, which we're about to start getting into, because I know a lot of your children use these apps like Kik and Snapchat. Those are two really bad apps. And I could do, and I'd actually like to do, there's a Kik case. That's a Kik killing case, and a Snapchat one. That's a pretty big profile. I'd love to do those cases and cover them so you can see what I'm talking about. Not good apps for your kids.
How internet savvy is he? A lot of people are speculating, could he have gone on the dark web? Did he have a Tor browser? I'm curious about that as well, but I'll tell you, he has some accounts that make me wonder if he did. He seems to be technically savvy. However, according to his old roommates and friends, he apparently used to peep a lot, got caught doing that. He put CSAM, allegedly, on a network that his roommates could access.
Dummy.
That was stupid. It makes me wonder exactly how savvy he was. The fact that he had it all on his phone, so readily accessible for the police.
There it is. Oblivious Benson, love you all and love Chai True Crime. Instead of calling me Jay, she likes to call me Jai or Chai. So you call me whatever you want. I'm going to call you OB because Oblivious Benson's a tongue tire. So OB, we love you and thank you for sharing what you have and the information. It's really important for folks to know and validate what STEPHAN STERNS was using and the kind of people that are using that are like STEPHAN STERNS were sharing things. And those are the same creeps that are out there.
Tells me that this guy was kind of stupid. He might not have been as savvy as he thinks he is. In fact, he's definitely not. But it makes me wonder also if there's any distribution that he did, if that's what they now have to look into.
And that's okay. We're going to go through that. So yeah, we do know that it was made 2 months ago. We're learning and we're still going to go to your part 2, debunk some stuff. And I have all your information. This guy was too stupid for the dark web. And that's what I believe too. So I appreciate that. Sherry Rook, thank you for becoming a member. And, yeah, we know we're going to lead up to this, but we got to let all these people know what's the real deal.
Because think about it. If they have access to his phone right away, right? And they see all this stuff on there and they go, okay, here's 60 charges and we know the dates and we know all that. Okay, that's because it was on his phone. Was it on a cloud or was it on the hard drive of the phone? We don't know. But what we do know is the next step would likely be to start looking at his digital footprint. What else did he have? And did he spread these anywhere? There are, it would be like a 7-hour video. I would love to do a deep dive with you guys one time, or maybe not a deep dive, but just go over the dark web with you because there's a lot of stuff.
And we are going to OB. Don't forget, Papa Ron. We're going to get all of us on there and do that. We do need to talk about the dark web so people aren't confused that the dark web is not just some place you go to.
That I'd like to show you and talk to you about involving that. Because I think that people have a really huge misconception about what it is sometimes and what's available and how to access it and the scary parts versus the not scary parts. Because believe it or not, there's deep web and dark web. They're kind of different. Some people use them to say the same thing, but really imagine a vast wilderness and most of it is bad stuff, but some of it is just being used for the space and it's not bad stuff. Like it's got the same nerdy stuff that the regular internet has. It's got people who love cats. People who want to talk about anime, people who, video game rooms, it's got all the same stuff that regular internet does. But then you also have this vast mountain of just illegal shit going down. And the way that these rooms operate in order to trade and to distribute and to basically provide and exchange CSAM, there's a lot of different court cases that we can reference and a lot of different situations that we have to look back on as far as precedent goes with how people navigate and operate the dark web and how they get busted. One of the things that's really interesting to me.
And that's a good point. You remember Silk Road when you could just go buy methamphetamines on there or anything you wanted, no problem. And we had all these high tech people in Silicon Valley. I remember just buying whatever they wanted. And then it all came crashing down. So Silk Road's a really good example of the dark web.
Is that there is this misconception that you just go there and then you can buy this stuff. Just like, boop, I want to buy some. Let me go buy some dirty stuff. No, that's not how it works. It's usually a situation where imagine you go into a chat room and there's one moderator, and in order to get into the chat, you have to get past him. So you have to talk to them and you have to get to know them and you have to build a rapport. And they literally, you're chatting with a complete stranger who is grilling you and interviewing you. And they basically tell you, like, I need to know all these things about you. I need to confirm who you are and whether you're not a cop. Say, okay, prove yourself by sharing an original piece of CSAM with me. And then that person has to go get that.
Okay, so that's what I was talking about earlier. So when STEPHAN STERNS had pictures of himself with Maddie and showing body parts of him, he needed to validate that to them. So then he would probably take a picture of just himself and say, see, this is me with her. Here you go. Now I want you to trade me for that. They won't even let you in without validation for those type of things because they don't want to get busted, right? So that's why we're thinking he was sharing. This is good.
That's where the abuse and the creating CSAM comes from. A lot of people who create it to distribute it. And they use that ability to distribute it to swap for other stuff. I did see that in his records, there were things about kids of other ages that people are speculating could potentially not be Maddie. And it makes me wonder now, that is my indicator. I do wonder, was he someone who traded her pictures to get others?
And that's what I'm thinking too, OB and Davey. He openly communicated on his social media, and he was an idiot, which we're glad now. He did use Chrome and Firefox. The affidavit shows Google Drive. So he was literally just taking pictures like that and openly dumping it on the things that we use every day for work. He wasn't hiding it. I told you he's a lazy slob. It takes a little bit of work to get in the dark webs versus just throwing stuff on these things. I think the best he did for himself was use Telegram, because I don't think they're going to be able to find out what he sent that night at 11:49, the night Maddie went, whatever happened that night.
I think that the presence of giant file saving accounts on various different servers, things like Dropbox accounts, stuff like that. If he has a Dropbox account with 6 terabytes in it, that's concerning. I don't know if he does. I know Keegan Klein had a massive Dropbox. A lot of people involved in the Indiana stuff had Dropboxes. And they were full of it. And people go, where does this come from? A lot of people assume that because someone has that stuff, that they must have done that to a child, when in reality, a lot of the times it's no better. You know, it's still an awful thing, but they're actually trading with someone who did. And part of the way that they do that, if they were to be on the dark web, is they have to provide content to this person, who then provides them with entry into this room, and then all the pedos can swap their info. Luckily, we have an insanely smart and brilliant branch of cyber experts that work at the FBI who spend their entire lives invading those rooms, shutting them down, and charging people. And there are a couple of cases that we'll go over in the future about that. Stephan's amount that he had and his insanely online presence, and by that I mean lots of accounts, does concern me. Does it guarantee that he took part in dark web activities or, trading CSAM, or was he creating it to distribute it? I don't know. But there are red flag indicators that he potentially could have.
Okay. This is where I want to
pause. Or
he
was able to,
This was very important to me. These are STEPHAN STERNS verified accounts that they found. I guess this came from the affidavit. I'm assuming I don't have time to read all the paperwork, but I did watch this with Oblivious and Duty Ron. And so the accounts he has a check by them. So he was using Kik, Snapchat, Scout. So he talked about Maddie having Roblox account, but I believe he was the one with the Roblox, and he was letting her use it for whenever he wanted to let her use it. We'll say he had Live Me, which is live stream, and then WhatsApp, and then obviously he had an Instagram, he had a TikTok, he had a Discord, and then Yubo and a Meet Me. So these green check marks are all the ones that indicates apps found to be potentially once used by STEPHAN STERNS based on the cache data, IP links, email, phone aliases, username, and other public data. So this was not an affidavit, excuse me. I guess this is what you dug up, right, OB?
You will. However, there are also indicators, such as his stupidity, that make me wonder if he had the presence of mind or intelligence whatsoever to even navigate a Tor browser. I don't know. He seemed to be in a lot of really odd. He had a hacker group account that's like for people who like to hack. And it's just, when you go to it, it's just a very, very basic, like, he was either learning or he got out of it really easy, really quickly because he just couldn't handle it. But it's very entry level stuff. And that makes me wonder if he didn't really know what he was doing. I don't know. But anyway.
No, you
in
do
this
know.
case with
You do
Stephan's
know.
Accounts, while I was confirming them. Well, let me go back. I started doing this the day he was on the news. Just because, like you guys, I was like, this is a little weird, the way he was acting and stuff. It was just strange to me. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing deep dives in research. And, some people might think it's a little creepy to be looking at the Facebook page of a victim's aunt to see what's going on there. It kind of.
Yeah, but sometimes and she'll probably say that you don't want to get too deep. You don't want to bring them in. That's why I don't look into Yolanda and all the family. He played video games. I don't think he was a big gamer, but he did like video games. But he also liked everything that kids liked. And one of those was painting those damn little toys that he did. So, yeah, he wasn't a big gamer. He just liked video. He liked things that kids liked. Cynthia, absolutely. It's especially if he didn't delete the account, which data he just deleted the app from his phone. It doesn't change the facts that they could use the update. Yeah, they can upload his user data. He's that dumb, folks. That dumb. All right.
It is, but good. Again, I don't think there's anything wrong with looking at public information. I think there's something wrong with reporting it if it's fake or if you have yet to really verify it and it's something that could harm somebody or end up with somebody getting harassed or doxxed. So for me, I think that when I see something like that, I don't have an issue with like going and looking into it, but I rarely speak on it unless I have something to add. Now in this conversation, right away, as I started looking at it, it was like, okay, let's go find what we can. And Sustanet popped up. Sustanet is the name that was attached to his Reddit account, which was fairly easy to find, especially if you knew specific things about him that were available on his Facebook.
Now I'm going to stop that for a second because Davey Warhammer is a hardcore tabletop game with a massive rule book, but he was using that to lure Maddie in his Sustanet account all the time. We saw my girlfriend's daughter with the Tamagotchis and the little Warhammer figures that he was having her paint and show off. So whether he was playing by the massive rule book or he was just using them, we don't know. I don't see any information that he was hardcore playing anything because he was a lazy, fat sloth. So we don't know.
Facebook, you can always cross-reference. This popped up pretty quickly. It's easily verifiable. It's definitely him. There's photos of Madeline on it. They're not illicit ones, but he has a photo of her. And with that little bit of information, the amount of stuff we can confirm and find out about him is endless, it feels like. And I say that because I used 9 different pieces of OSINT software to scrape the internet, find everything I could on this guy.
Thank you.
And the reason I did it, I'm going to be 100% transparent and honest with you, and you're going to think I'm crazy, and I'm fine with that. I saw him and the way he was acting and the circumstances, because Maddie had just disappeared. We didn't know that she was passed away yet. But I thought, God, this guy looks so much like Ian Watkins. Do you know who that is? Ian Watkins was the lead singer of a band called the Lost Prophets. And they had that one song that was like, something's on the long way home. That was like a great song in the early to mid 2000s. People loved it. And then the lead singer of the Lost Prophets, Ian Watkins, started talking to his fans online and through text. And saying, hey, bring me your babies. Show me your babies. And do horrible things. And let me do horrible things with them.
Wow.
What? Huh? That's gross.
That is gross. And I always say the world's ran by pedos, folks. I hate to say that, but it really, truly is. If you go back to the 70s, 80s, 90s, all that, they had islands and they all had money and they'd fly the boys out to the islands and do bad things. And these were all rich people sending out paper brochures, and you had to be VIP to get that brochure about that child that you wanted. This was before the internet. So this has been going on since the beginning of time. And the people that do it are the ones that have money to be able to do it. Now, CBC, hard to believe his parents had zero idea. His parents covered up for him. That the story is true, I believe, that his ex-roommate caught him filming his girlfriend in the bathroom and other various things. They found it on the hard drive that was shared on their server. And the parents paid them not to press charges. So the parents knew that he was a creepy mofo.
Gross, dude. You're gross. May you rot in hell, Ian Watkins.
Yes.
He got busted. Obviously, he was trying to do the stuff Stephan was doing with babies.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
fuck him. Pardon my French. Fuck that guy. He sucks. Like, really, dude? Gross. What a gross human being. May he rot, dude. I saw Stefan and I went, oh my God, that looks like him. I know maybe I'm face blind, but I did ask someone else that's a friend of mine. I was like, do you think that guy looks like that? He's like, yeah. Now, again, this isn't exactly all the reason why, but when I saw him, I was like, is this a genetic thing? My brain went immediately to, Florida? And he looks like that? And he used to work at Disney, they say? I had to. There were two. I mean,
So you to our laboratory here today?
And if you want to be one of those people who's like, Kat, what do you mean Disney? How could you say that? A lot of people like Disney. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Yeah, I see
in
Disney
some instances,
now.
I see Disney as a red flag, dude. I mean, if you're not a little girl or a little boy, you're super into Disney, like super into it. It's a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird to me. It's just my opinion. But anyway, I saw we had a perv alert, and here we go. Let's talk about Stephan's accounts and how we found them first. Like I said, I used 9 different pieces of OSINT software. I used a ton of stuff that's a little bit highly technical that I don't have time to show you today, but for the sake of brevity and giving you something that you can use in the future that is easy, we're going to go back to what'smyname.app, okay? And we're just going to do a small portion of his accounts. We're not going to do all of them. There's no way we could. It would take me years.
It would take me hours, and I don't have any more hours. My hours are almost gone in the day, so thanks, OB.
Really years. It would probably honestly be like a 20-hour video. I wouldn't get any sleep. And it would be highly technical on half of it at least. So it's just like I can't teach all that right now. But I can teach you some basics because what'smyname.app actually pulled up a lot of accounts that are available also using the more technical apps.
And it is very important to see all Susnet. But I'm going to say OB is saying, no, I'm not dealing in facts, and Pizzagate is not real. End of story. Not discussing anymore. So if anyone's talking about Pizzagate, knock it off. No more. Whoever, maybe it's not, maybe whatever, just let's not talk about that. Let's look at the STEPHAN STERNS accounts, and we got Susnet on Chatterbait, we got eBay, Etsy, Image Shack, Imager, Kick, MySpace, Periscope. We all know the famous Pornhub. He even gets badges for how many times he whacks off a day. Reddit, Roblox, Scratch, Snapchat, Spotify, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, user 1 and user 2. That's all he did all day long. Remember, he didn't work, folks. He did nothing.
So I think it gives you a good place to start and a good bulk amount of the ones that are most active recently. And the thing I like about it is it does separate the recent active accounts from the ones that haven't been used in a while or might be someone else, and then the ones that are dead accounts where an account was opened and then it was either never used or the app shut down. So what I want you to do, if you haven't seen the video, there's simple, easy OSINT freebies where I introduce this app to you. And then there's one called screen name scanning on my page. If you go watch screen name scanning, you're going to learn how to use this app. 100%. It's very easy. It's actually an open source desktop available app too. It's not something you need to download at all. So what'smyname.app, just go to it real quick. We know that his name is Sustanet. We know that there are 2 variations of it. On his Instagram, he uses _Sustanet_, and then on his Reddit, he uses Sustanet. Now, this guy doesn't just have one account under one screen name. He has other accounts under others, but this is the popular one. And this is the one that he has a bulk of his.
And thank you for breaking this down for us. I could not do this any better. It would have taken me a month to put all that stuff together. So thank you, OB, for letting me use your content and shout you out. And yeah, now stop talking about Pizzagate. Damn it. We're done with that conversation.
Main accounts that are active on. So that's why we're going to use it. First thing I would do is run that through what'smyname.app, and you're going to see a bunch of results. All right. Now, I've already gone through and checked almost all of them. It took forever. And luckily, I did this the day of that interview after I was like, ooh, it looks like Ian Watkins. Because if I had waited to do it until recently, I wouldn't be able to verify some of this stuff. And I'm going to tell you why. Because in Texas, in the time from the day the interview came out until today, which is, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks, a couple weeks later, our politicians said, listen, no more Pornhub unless you age verify. That's what, I got lost. That's what we were talking about earlier. You have to have an ID and you have to give it to Pornhub to verify your age. And Pornhub said, hey, that's bullshit. Why? Like, that's inhibiting freedom.
Yeah, we'll just agree to disagree here, folks. And I say the world is ran by pedos. And I say that because the industry, the Hollywood industry, is a huge deal. The music industry in Tennessee is a huge deal. people like P. Diddy and the rappers are a huge deal. You got Epstein that controls had all the politicians and all those things in his pocket back in the 80s before all those guys or the other guys. So when I say the world's ran by pedos, I mean money does that. And I can give you a big long list of what I'm talking about. So when I say that, it's not actual factual, but in my opinion, it is. And there are a lot of people that we don't know about. They're actually into that.
And what are we, China? This is what people have said. I told my mom and she was like, nah, like even my mom was like, that's crazy. And the reason given for them doing this was to fight against trafficking and the exploitation of underage teens, kids. Fair enough. Love that. Love fighting exploitation. Absolutely. Love fighting trafficking. I'm down. Here's the problem, though. It's not even about our freedom.
We are talking about Maddie.
I don't watch porn, and I think it's gross. I'm like, ugh, get it away from me.
So we are talking about Maddie here, folks, and we're talking about what apps he was using and why all of this even exists in the first place. Why that happened to Maddie and what he was doing with these people. So yes, we are talking about Maddie, but we're also learning about the social media accounts, digital footprints, and data validation basics. So at the same time, we're talking about STEPHAN STERNS and what he did and what accounts he had. It also doesn't say we're talking about Maddie, we're justice for Maddie, but we're talking about STEPHAN STERNS and the accounts and giving you knowledge for children so that doesn't happen in the future. And if you do see those apps, dig through them.
You know, not judging anybody who takes part in it. I just think it's not for me, y'all. Not into it. I don't want to see your feet. I agree. I don't like feet at all. So gross. So I don't want to see feet or anything else. So for me, it's no big deal normally. But the problem is Stephan had a Pornhub account. Now, the day that I went to verify, is it his? Pornhub was available. I could go look at it, and I saw his account, and I was able to take screenshots. Whew, thank goodness, because when I went earlier this week to pull it up so that I could, take another screenshot and see if anything had changed, i.e. if there was anybody else who had access.
All right, now this is what I was telling you about, and he won awards for this. All right, so listen, and this does have to do with Maddie because a lot of the abuse focused around her, and that's who he had access to.
Do it. It wouldn't let me. I got this. I'll show you right now. Here's a graphic of what pops up. Now, what I was already showing you earlier were Steven's accounts, or Stephan, or dipshit, or dirtbag, or pervert, or chomo, or whatever you want to call him, allegedly. That was basically what it looked like when this case first started. So right away, as I go access any accounts I can to verify if they're his based on the data I was able to find and what was eventually confirmed by the rest of the internet. I mean, it was him. It was his pictures. It was everything. Whenever I did it back then, I could see everything. I could see all his little awards for how long he's been perving, all that stuff. Now, when I look here, and again, I'm not saying anybody who looks at porn is a perv. I'm just saying he's a perv based on what we know now. But the point is, I could see his quote unquote achievements, which also that's a wild thing, that looking at porn is an achievement.
I appreciate that conversation. The world can be full of pedos and sickos without all conspiracies being real. But there are conspiracies because when I start getting into Diddy, it's not really it's not a conspiracy theory. It's real life when we start getting into Diddy and how many people he's connected to in Hollywood and how many people he's essayed and how many people he's groomed and brought to the top. But I appreciate that you're right without all the conspiracies. And that's what I'm learning right now. Because when I hear about trafficking and trading CSAM, I always think, is that a conspiracy theory? No, it's real. All of this is real, and it gets deeper than we know.
Now, that like they're giving participation trophies for everything. The point is, we've got Pornhub right here now. This is what it looks like today. This is what happens if you live in the state of Texas and you go to it in an effort to essentially stop sex trafficking online, sharing of underage content, sharing of any illegal content. And especially the fact that you're catering to people who could just be lying about their age when they enter the site. We need you to enter this age verification, process. You need to do something. And Pornhub is saying here, yo, what are you talking about? This is impossibly hard feat for us to do without some sort of guidance on what to ask for. Like, basically, you're making us come up with a whole compliance, department that we can't possibly have. Like, think about it. If they want it, they would literally have to change.
That's true. And that happened with Kick in one of the cases I want to cover, and the Kick murders where the guy was pretending like he was 14, but he was like 23, and him and his girlfriend went to this girl's Kick account, flirted with her, lured her out of the window, and then took her life and buried her, and they got caught. But they tried to hold the Kick CEO accountable, and there's no way to hold him accountable because you can't all of these things. You can't take away people's this and that for some things, and things have to be encrypted for other reasons, and it's just how it goes. Just how it goes, folks. Let's listen a little more of this, and then I'm gonna go a little bit farther ahead.
The way their website functions, that's going to require a lot of coding. There's going to be issues with that as far as bugs go, and as far as checks and balances go, hiring people to do it or facing an automated system. Just being able to tell, like, is this a fake ID or a real ID? What if you have an out-of-state ID, but you live in Texas? Also, people don't want to be on a list. People don't want others to know, hey, I'm looking at porn. Maybe the preacher's wife is going to see. That's the way normal Americans are thinking. Now, do I agree with this? Not that it matters, but I do have some issues with it. While I understand, obviously, that this is messed up for victims who cannot get Pornhub to listen. But my issue is this kind of scares me in the same way that when prostitution went from outside to inside, it became trafficking for a reason. Like, it was always kind of trafficking, but it was out there in the public. You saw the women on the street. You could identify them. You knew who they were. The police, when the internet got really, really big, had a whole new thing to fight. And that thing was prostitution and sex trafficking has gone indoors. Sex work is now indoors. It's also on.
Just like the war on drugs, folks. When you get that, now you have to go into now you're going in to get it off of the street. I can't even think of a legal term or the term for that right now, but the black market, right? You take it off of you take it away from people. They're going to get it anyway, and it's going to be worse, and it's going to be more violent. So this I agree with. I want to get more into the social media accounts because I cannot be here for another 2 hours. Let's see.
All the research I've done, and I'm talking,
okay,
what is it, like 2 weeks now?
All right, there's Sustanet. I want you to see all those because there's videos and Periscope and Reddit and all his accounts. So you can imagine what he was doing.
Research. I can tell you that there are maybe 3 or 4 actual real humans who have used his screen name. One of them is a gentleman out of Poland who's really into skydiving. We'll see him in a minute, but we're not going to dox that guy. I just want to show you how to suss STEPHAN out from these dudes. We're going to see him riddled throughout here, and that's probably a good thing because that is good for a teaching tool. We wouldn't have anything to weed out if there wasn't anyone else, right? It's a bad thing in that a lot of people are probably assuming that those are STEPHAN's social media footprints. And I mean, I'll give a shit if you judge STEPHAN or not. He sucks. But I think that for the sake of having an accurate behavioral profile of him, as far as his online behavior goes, or places to look to see if he has done anything nefarious involving the type of charges he has, it would be a shame to attribute that to another individual who is totally innocent of that sort of thing. So that's why we do this. We go through and we're going to basically click on each of these and we're going to see what pops up. Now, what I like to do is I like to click on them. And then when they pop up at that point, I can go through and I can see like, what is this person about? Is it STEPHAN? So first
and I know this is a lot. We're just going to go through a few and then I'll go forward because brain power. We've been on here. What, you guys watched 3 videos of mine today?
Do eBay. And we're just going to do the positives right now. See how it says Poland right there? And I told you about that Polish guy.
Well, thank you.
The way I kind of learned about that Polish guy was because I went through all these accounts and let's go ahead and open them all. So we've got all of them open, nice and open, so we can see them. And then,
so we will go through his accounts for sure. I won't give you overload today, but I want you to see his accounts.
Okay, and by the way, I am on a desktop, so some of the access to some of these is going to be a little wonky, but I went ahead and I've already done my research on these, and I can just tell you straight up what's his and not his, but I also want to show you, although some of them it's going to be a little impossible, so I'll just tell you. But
freedom of speech and different opinions are definitely okay here, Texas Rose, but OB, Oblivious Benson, who I'm showing today, she's the one that just doesn't want to talk about it. This is her channel that I'm using, and she But you guys can talk amongst yourselves if you're not directing it at her. We're open to freedom of course. I don't edit anyone. She just is on here chatting with us, and we're using her content, and I'm being respectful of her. So I'm loving this deep dive too. We're learning a lot. So I don't want you to think anybody's censored, but she just didn't want to talk about it anymore. And it's okay to say that too. You can talk to Davey about it on there. It seems like you guys want to talk about it, and that's okay.
But here we go. So we've got
Thank you,
Poland,
CBC.
Sustanet. Is this Steven? There's no feedback, positive, neutral. We don't know if this is a seller count or buyer count, really. But what we do know is it says Poland. We're not even going to trust that yet at this point. If I were just looking at it for the first time, I would just kind of put this to the side, leave it open. Now we come over here. What's that? It's Dirty Pervert's face. Okay, we know this is STEPHAN. So right here, it looks like this is a list of his favorite items.
Yes, so we're just today. It says CSAM. What's the topic of this today? CSAM proof. STEPHAN STERNS was trading CSAM, social media and digital footprint accounts. Thank you, Prof. Fair. Yes, I will forward through the stuff that is not that. I'm just showing you his account so you can know what he was doing. And yes, we respect each other's boundaries. I won't go into all the other stuff. And this wasn't about Maddie. This is about what he was doing behind the scenes on all of those accounts. So yeah, I can go a little bit more. We don't need to see his earrings that he was using and so forth. Although I appreciate
for teenagers and young adults. He's neither a teenager.
Look at that. Okay, so he's on there doing things for teenagers and young adults, and you can imagine what STEPHAN STERNS was doing if he was trying to give advice to teenagers and young adults, what he was doing behind the scenes, not only with Maddie, but why was he giving advice to these people and then completely doing the opposite? So I'll stick to those topics, okay?
Nor young adult. That bothers me. It really bothers me. He's on multiple Disney sites. He's on a Springfield Armory site. He's on Ask. He's on Am I the Asshole? Would I be the asshole public? And it has to do with for calling my cops on my girlfriend for pulling a gun and threatening to shoot our dogs. You're not the asshole. Of course he would think that. What an idiot. Anyway, he's into Tamagotchi. A lot of people think that's super weird in the D&D thing. I just think it's nerdy shit that adults sometimes like. I highly doubt that, you know, a young girl would be that into that sort of stuff. So I wouldn't say that that's so much luring or predatory. It's just like nerd stuff. But then you get here and it's like, oh.
Yeah, and this was weird. A lot of people said that that this was how he was luring a lot of the children in. He was doing that with Maddie. We went through a lot of posts. CM said that as well, that he was used. She didn't even like the Tamagotchis. He was getting them and they were boring her. She was like, what is this for? And he'd get this super like pink, colorful thing and say, oh, it's for my girlfriend's daughter. So he was using all these like video games and Tamagotchis and children's things to lure the one person that we know for a fact was Maddie.
Oh, this is intense nerdery. This is kind of weird. Now it's getting overwhelming. He's into metal detecting. Okay. He's into World of Warcraft. Guns, guns, guns. He's super into guns. He's super into knives. If you go to his Facebook, you will see that.
Just scary, folks, that he's super into guns and knives. That creeps me out because they did have some, I believe, some firearm evidence. And then we have a theory of Maddie's COD. I'm not going to say it right now because, again, I don't want a conspiracy theory, and that's what we're trying to not stick to. Thank you. Yeah, definitely no, we don't want conspiracy theories. I appreciate that. That was definitely part of his grooming. Tamagotchis were cool in the 90s, but not for an old, fat, bearded man that was trying to get his girlfriend's daughter. I hate desperate women who allow dudes to, yeah, I'll take that word off, but thank you. I'm into knives too, Davey. I got some dope knives. We have to share stories sometimes, but we also didn't take a little girl's life and do a bunch of things with her. I have lots of knives and lots of guns if you ever want to compare. All right.
He likes to give his opinion on what teens should do. He likes to gripe
so
about
weird.
Disney. He's in the Epcot, the Digimon, the lightsaber. Like, this is just a dude who's nerdy. Now look right here. Yep, this tracks, and it's got a bunch of stuff on it, including like the 3 main subs that he's in where he gets the most gifts. And look how he even made his avatar look like him. A lot of people do that.
Exactly.
Now, one thing, the reason I'm pointing that out, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that when you see someone who uses a similar avatar, I do wonder if he had a secret Reddit account, if he also made an avatar that looked like that, the exact same one, because it's easy. And I have seen people do that. Now, we've got him in a millennials group. Is he a millennial? I don't think he is. Okay, keep going. He might be, actually. He might fall on the cusp. Evangelion, that's like some old anime stuff. Now, one of the reasons, Kroger, one of the reasons that I'm kind of still going through all this is because I want you to kind of get a profile of this guy. He's into a lot of like gaming and teen boy to adult man type of stuff. He's into a lot of RPGs, role play games is what that means.
And the reason he's into that is because he is literally, he has the mind of a child, and he's literally attracting children on this site. When you read these, it's really weird how he tries to give teens advice. And then in another post with the same name, Sussnet, he talks about how Adderall makes him not be able to properly finish, if you know what I mean. So it's really weird that no one caught on to this. When I say no one, I'm talking about Jen, folks. Jen knew how to check deleted messages that were deleted from the iPhone, and she checked Maddie's phone, but she didn't find anything. Was she not looking at Stephan Stern's phone? Did they not have a local computer that was up? Everybody has computers in their house. Did she not see what he was talking about? Did she really just have no interest in him and just pushed him off to Maddie? I just cannot for the life of me figure that out.
LARPing, like nerd stuff, nerf, literally. But simultaneously, he's into anime, and that's going to be important in a little bit. And I'll tell you why.
Thank you, Ob.
But
I appreciate
keep that in mind. So we keep going.
We love
we've
you,
got Green
Ob.
Lantern, we've got Digimon. We could just go back and back. Now, the thing about Reddit that's also cool is that you can go up here and you can go to new, or you can sort by what he has the most votes on. So if you go to top, this is like what he got the most comments on, what people liked the most as far as things that he's posted right there. See, remember in Etsy, he was trying to buy these. And then over here on Reddit.
Okay, so that was a lot of his posts where he was painting those. The roommate said he had these Warhammer figures all the time. He was always trying to get Maddie to paint with him or play video games with him. And then watching cartoons, he would sit there and watch that stuff and play video games. Okay. Now, I will never understand that. And it actually pisses me off that they try to add that to LGBTQIA plus LMNOP XYZ, and they're trying to normalize it. It's very unacceptable to me. And I just want you all to know that we will never, ever, ever around here normalize adults being attracted to or wanting to be with children. That is an absolute no.
We see him painting one that was for sale on Etsy. So that's a way that you can cross-reference to confirm. We see all these pictures on various accounts. And look right here. This dude has a lot of history. He apparently spends most of his time playing with these toys.
Thank you, Ob.
And making this stuff. And I see a lot of people go, what did he do for work? Right? Like, what did this guy do for work? What did he do for a job?
Look at that. That's a mass amount
about this kind of stuff. If you play Warhammer, if you play World of Warcraft, if you play any of those games, you can make so much freaking money creating, buying, and selling these hobby toys, these figures. You can make a shitload of money by playing a game, building up a character, and then selling it. I had a friend that I used to work with who played World of Warcraft, and she built up her warlock or whatever to level 70. So I don't know what it was. She built up her warlock to have all this power, and she spent all this time creating this character that was massive and had like a ton of whatever points on it. I don't know.
Okay, so there could have been where he was getting money from Jen and his parents and then selling those figures, because he did have that eBay thing or whatever he's selling it. And I do want to let you guys know, so you're going to see Oblivious Benson a lot more on Duty Ron. I have a big suspicion here, so you're going to see Ob on Duty Ron. You're going to see her on my channel if I can get her on here ever, which I'm sure I will. We'll trade some ideas. Anyway, Oblivious Benson, and for anyone that doesn't know her yet, her family was in a mass shooting, and a conspiracy theorist caused a lot of the pain. Alex Jones was her customer when she waited tables for years, and she knows he's crazy. So just, sometimes people have things that happen in their family, and it just causes that PTSD or trauma. And so, if they say they don't want to talk about whatever, respect that. Luckily, I don't have many boundaries because my mom and my family were blessed for that not to have happened. Thank the Lord above, Jesus, Allah, Jehovah, whatever you want to call him. So, amen.
It took her forever. And she sold it to someone for like $6,000. Like basically she created this account, gave them the account and password in exchange for money. And she would just play video games all day and do this to make money. And back then, you know, she would get it transferred to her PayPal, but now people have Cash App, they have Venmo, they have all these different things. So when I see this amount of stuff being created by this guy, painted, played with, bought, and then posted, it makes me go, I wonder if this was the type of stuff that this guy was doing. And we saw this picture in this item. I mean, if he sat around all day doing this and then selling it, yeah, that's probably how he made money. I would be willing to bet that. In addition to at one point working at Disney.
There he is.
And then remember we saw that other substitute teacher thing. I do wonder, you know, was he a sub?
Interesting.
That's scary. That means he was around kids more. That's terrifying.
Absolutely.
So yeah, this is, I mean, when I see this, it's a lot, dude. It's a lot. And here's the thing.
A lot.
These are, let's go to his posts. Let's do his top posts of all time because I want to see what his posts are.
All right, we'll go a little bit longer on this stuff. We'll go about, I want to go a little bit more because I want to get into up to here where we show his accounts, and then we'll stop there and we'll do another part. We'll do these in parts because it's a lot. Even my brain can't take all this. OB, kudos to you for all this research that you're doing. And I am not into conspiracy theories either. And I love that about you.
Because it's different than if you post something versus, you know, if you're commenting on something. Okay, so he's posting. He's got a lot of like gamer stuff. Again, he's got that weird ring. See right here? He's like showing off all these different gaming devices that you can kind of buy and build on your own. And then he's purchasing a lot of these, by the way, Digimon and various items that he shows. You order them really cheap from Japan. And he's got some history talking about that. And so when I saw an account on What's My Name, not even What's My Name, this one popped up. Maybe it was What's My Name, actually. It did pop up in false positives on here, I think. But it also popped up in a couple of other forums. And it popped up in some of the other software that I used. Yeah, it is on here. Okay. So basically there are yen trading sites and sites where you can get Japanese currency and transfer it. And there were a lot of Japanese sites that are similar to like our eBay, but for just gaming. Those accounts I was able to confirm were his simply because in order to get some of these items that we see on his Reddit, he would have to order them specifically from there. I'm not going to go through all of them. That would take all day, but I'm telling you.
Yeah, and we're not going to because we don't care that much about Stephan Sterns. But what I do care about is letting you know about your children and what they're using. And yes, the abuse started to happen after Juan left back to Puerto Rico and the lovely CM left and moved. So it's really weird because after that, Jen had a ton of roommates in and out. You saw when the police went there, they knocked on the door and then they redacted all that because there were people living at that house. It was a 4-bedroom. Jen didn't work that many hours. I know everyone thought, oh, she worked so much she could be at the birthday party, but that's not the case. She was actually collecting some kind of SSI or something and working just enough to meet that bottom line where she wouldn't get it taken away. So yeah, we'll listen a little bit more about Stephan Sterns and I'll answer some of your questions. But yeah, Stephan Sterns is just a creeper, and please keep your kids away from anything that you see like this. If you think it's sus, just assume it is.
And there are some of these items, not the Nerf, but some of the others that you would literally have to get there. I also find it weird how obsessed he was with Disney's Lorcana. That is weird to me. Jesus. So this guy, these are all his posts. So some of these Tamagotchi.
I do wonder if he was obsessed with that though, because Jen does suck. I do wonder if he was obsessed with that. I'm going to leave it on the Tamagotchi thing, and we're almost at 1:45, and I'll answer some of your questions. Thank you, Oblivious, for sharing your information. That Tamagotchi is just, it irks me, all that, and it makes me wonder if he was into those specific things to attract little girls specifically. You remember the post where you had a pink Tamagotchi and he said, "Oh, I got the wrong one. It was custom made, but I gave it to my daughter or my girlfriend's daughter." So I think a lot of the stuff that he was into was really just to bait little girls specifically in folks, and collecting cheap shit can get out of hand quickly, absolutely. But more than anything, I think he was using it for the threads to attract people. We don't know that he wasn't getting other children, and I want to say children, they could have been teenagers, they could have been whatever age, sending him things. I hope all's good in the house, because everything's always good in the house, no matter where we are. I'm blessed. We're all blessed here, or I wouldn't be on here. All right. I found out that when I collected Hot Wheels for a few months, I decided to get out for a few months so I could see my house becoming unlivable. And his place was unlivable. And that's why he went and scattered into Jen's, because he was just a dirty sloth. Okay. You're going to go to bed, Trina. We love you. And yeah, we've been here for a long time. Oblivious, I wrote down your email. Yeah, reach out. Go shout out to Oblivious. We put her, I'm sure we put her link in there. We absolutely adore her. I adore her personally. I love that she calls me Chai or Jai or whatever the heck she wants to call me. As long as she calls me, I don't care. LOL, I over collected wrestling stuff and I got out of hand. I over collect horror dolls. I go to horror conventions and get all the Freddy Krueger, Jason, and Michael Myers and all that stuff. And that does not attract kids, I tell you. When a kid comes in the room and sees that stuff, they run because they're scared. So, Lara, thank you. God bless. Yeah, I can't believe how long I've been on with y'all today, and I can't believe you're still here. We have 395 people still in chat. At one point, we had over 500 people today, and that's insane. I mean, like on this live stream, and then earlier today, the same thing. Like, it's unbelievable that you guys are so dedicated to Maddie and finding justice and figuring out the truth about what's happening on. Thank you for highlighting the chat comments and comment them. Not all YouTubers do that. I try to interact with my audience. You guys are the ones that make the channel. If it wasn't for you, I'd be talking to myself. And we love you, Jay. Thank you, everybody. I am a YouTube warrior, especially today. I've been on for so long today. I can't even believe it. It's unbelievable. So if you guys do like the channel that much, thank you, Mitch. Please smash that like button so we can get in the algorithm, and maybe Papa Ron will be so kind, Duty Ron will be so kind to invite me back, as we had all talked about. And OB, you're still here. You'll say, "I will never share anyone for collecting Pokemon," because that stuff makes, yeah, that's my buddy found a $30,000 Pokemon card in his attic. He's now a millionaire, by the way, so that 30,000 doesn't mean anything. Alara, thank you for the super chat. OB, Oblivious Benson, if you could get us on a panel with me, you, Melanie Little, and Ron and Ed, that would be fantastic. We would be a super panel, and I bet you there would be a lot more than 4,000 people in chat, because I know this case inside and out. As far as the people go, a lot of the connections, you know this case in the way that you know it, and we all have different takes on it. So I do love this crew too, and I think it would be a just rock star of a night if we all got on one panel and talked about Stephan Sterns. I mean, Stephan Sterns, Jennifer Soto, and Maddie, and Justice for Maddie, and just work things out. Now, big things come in waves, folks. It always comes in waves. And since they come in waves, I feel like a wave is coming soon. We're going to hear something soon. I think the next date is going to be August. You do know your stuff, Jay. Thank you. Well, because I know a lot of the people, and a lot of people help me. But yeah, for some reason, the Madeline Soto case got attracted to me, and people called me to help. So I was blessed in a way, but at the same time, I also have nightmares. Right. You being able to check in with the roomie of Jen is priceless. Yeah. And I do need to call her. I've been online all day, and I've been not avoiding you if you're on here, CM. Yeah, we love Plunder. Yeah, Plunder. You're right. We're talking about having Plunder. I don't know if she does lives. Plunder, Melanie Little, Oblivious Benson, myself, Duty Ron, and Ed, Crime Time with Ed. So if we could do that, he did talk about that and say he wants to do it. So Obi, no pressure, but if you get any of those to happen, it would be a rock star show. Maybe it will happen before the next arrest comes. Hashtag arrest Jennifer Soto. Hashtag justice for Maddie. Hashtag we love Madeline Soto. Hashtag she's our angel, and she's brought us all together. And he also posted a picture, one more OB. He posted a picture with Japanese address that sent him stuff. So we know that he was trading in foreign. Yeah, we know he was trading in foreign currency. I'm going to go more into the video. I know where I left off. I've never seen Plunder do it live either. But Oblivious Benson, you're just too smart for me, because when I talk to you, my brain explodes. Okay, so July 10th is pre-trial, which means we're going to have some things to talk about if they don't move it. And yes, we love profiling Evil Mike. I saw him today. I watched a 10-minute clip of his own. He was out like working in the backyard, a freaking rock star. Yeah, it would be like a rock concert with all of us. I think we can make it happen. It's not a far stretch. Plunder might not be live. I can't speak for her, but OB's a savage. Oh, that's why OB and I have a lot in common, because we're both savages. We get down and dirty with the work we're doing, and we have a passion for it. We care about what the content that comes out of our mouths. We're not conspiracy theorists, and if we F up, we're going to correct it, okay? So we love all you. Justice for Maddie, indeed. We don't know if pretrial is going to be online. We don't even know if it's going to happen. So I'm going to keep you posted. I see all you all every freaking day. I've seen you 3 times a day. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. On that note, I got to get out of here. I'm hungry. Have a good night, y'all. And I'll see you back at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow. Peace out, y'all. I love each and every single one of you.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty?